everyone, this is Cindy from Stamped with Aloha. Today I'm going to be sharing with you part one of a two-part series of holiday projects. In this first video, I'm going to teach you how to create 2 front flap cards. So let's go ahead and get started. So the cards I'm going to teach you how to make today in this video are these. They are all made with items from our online exclusive products. So these aren't in our catalog, but you can find them online. And this is the Green and Gold Specialty Designer Series paper. This is from the Sophisticated Sled Bundle, which looks like this. The Golden Greenery. And then the dies that I'm using on these cards come from the bundle that's called Greetings of the Season. So I'll be using these 3 bundles in my projects in this series. We're gonna get started with this first card here. And the reason why we call these front flap cards is because it's a single layer card base with a narrow card glued to the center of it, and you can do these in either direction. So let's start with this first one. So I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of early espresso cardstock, and next I'm going to take 2 pieces of this Green and Gold Specialty Designer Series paper that has been cut at 1 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to get out my multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to glue these pieces to the edge of the cardstock, but I don't want them to go all the way to the edge. I just want to bring them in so that you see about 1/4 of an inch on the edge of the card. Next, we're going to take a 3 by 11 piece of old olive cardstock. Now this cardstock has been scored at 5 1/2 inches in the center, or you can just take the 3 by 11 and fold it in half, so whichever you prefer. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to add adhesive to the back, and then I'm going to mount this to the center of the card. Next, we're going to use more of that specialty paper. This is 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. This is green on one side, gold on the other. We want the gold side to show, so I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, and then I'm going to place this as my next layer. Okay, so now the base of the card is done, and now we get to build that beautiful scene with all the die cut pieces. All right, so to begin, I have this tag that is a part of the Greeting of the Seasons bundle, and it's gonna go there, but I'm not gonna glue it down just yet. I placed it there because the next thing that we're gonna put on is this piece of vellum. Now this comes from a piece of patterned vellum that has all kinds of branches on it, and then I just use one of the dies that coordinated with the Golden Greenery Bundle and used it to die cut this right out of the vellum, okay? Now we are gonna put a little bit of adhesive at the top part here, and then I want to make sure that this goes near the hole at the top. It's going to go over a little bit, but I just want to make sure that where I position it, it doesn't extend over the edge of the card. So I'm going to just place it right here and line it up near the hole so that it doesn't go over the edge like that. Okay? So once I have that positioning on there, I can move that out of the way and then go ahead and build the rest of the image. All right, the next part that we have here is the base of the sled. So I'm going to add adhesive here. And you could use whatever adhesive you like. I'm comfortable with this multi-purpose glue. I'm gonna turn this around and line this up, and this will just fit perfectly right on there. And we're trying to cover up that hole because we don't need that for this project. It's not gonna be a tag, it's gonna be the base of our focal point. So this piece kind of works out perfectly that it covers that little hole on there. All right, next we're gonna add the sled. Now there is a lot of little holes and open spaces here. Right there I can see I left one that didn't punch out when I die cut it. So you might wanna take a piercing tool and just take all those pieces and make sure that all the holes and all of the little open spaces here have been removed, okay? And once you have that done, you take your glue, add glue to the back, and then we're going to glue this down. This will line right up against the bars and up to the bottom bar right there. You can use that to line it up. All right, next we have the top of the sled. I'm going to turn this over. Going to add my glue to the back. And I'm going to glue this down. All right, the skates are next. And when you die cut the skates, you get them in separate pieces. So we have 2 skates, we have 2 blades, and then we have the laces. And the laces are actually really easy to insert. So I'm going to start with the blade. And these are exactly the same, so you don't have to match them up left to right. I'm going to just dot the tiniest amount of liquid glue on these, and then I'm going to place this on the skate and glue it down. And we'll do the same thing on the second one here. Sometimes I just put like a bubble of the glue on the top, and then I just kind of dot it really lightly. Because this glue is strong, you don't need a lot. And stick it down. Okay, so now our skates both have shiny blades, and for the laces, this part of the skate is actually split open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the laces and I'm just going to slide it into that slit. Okay, very easily. And we'll do the same thing with this one here. Just going to slide that piece into there, and there you go. You have some cute red laces. Now, because we're going to be using glue on the back of this, the glue is going to hold that together. So I'm just going to add my liquid glue right in that area where that red cardstock is coming through. And then I'm going to take this skate and I'm going to place this first skate right here towards the bottom center, but a little bit, maybe a little bit more to the right, and press it down. And then with the second skate, I'm going to use dimensionals. So I'm going to strategically put this dimensional over that area so that it's going to hold those laces in. Peel off the backing of the dimensional, and then this one is going to stack right on top of that other one and be on there just like that. All right, so our little scene is almost done. We just need a sentiment. So I'm going to get out my early espresso ink. And then the sentiment that I'm going to use comes from the greetings of the season. I'm going to show you this one more time. Now, what's nice about this is that the words here are separated. You have some script words and some printed words. So I'm going to use the words happy holidays, and I'm choosing to have the happy be in cursive and the holidays to be in print. But I could do it the opposite way too. I could use the printed happy words, and then I could use the holidays in a script format. So there's lots of options with this set. And again, this is an online exclusive item. It is not in the catalog. So look for that in our online store. Okay, so for that, I'm going to use one of the dies that coordinates with that bundle as well. And it's this banner here. And I'm going to place it in this direction with the banner on the right side. And then I'm going to start with the word holidays. So let me get out my stamp and stamp holidays here. And then next will be the happy. Oops. Okay, I'm cracking up here because I went to stamp the happy and I realized that I had the word holiday on here instead of happy, which shows you probably how strong my glasses are. And anyway, I looked at the sample that I already showed you, and were any of you wondering why this said holidays? I guess everybody loves the holidays. So I didn't even notice that, but hey, we're gonna fix that right here. So we are gonna use the happy stamp, not the holiday stamp. I must have been tired when I made that sample. And then we're gonna go ahead and stamp happy. Much better. Okay, so next we will take our paper snips, and I'm just going to snip right off across the tag. And then we're going to bring this over here, and we're going to place a couple of dimensionals behind it. Okay, and then this is going to go across at an angle like that. Okay, I'm going to turn this over, add my dimensionals to the back. And here's our cute focal point, and this will be centered right onto the front of our card. Happy holidays, not holidays, holidays. Okay, and then we're going to embellish this. And so I have two different embellishments for all these projects. I have my iridescent foil gems, and then I also have the cherry and pearl adhesive backed berries. And so for this one, I'm going to use those adhesive backed berries, and I'm going to place one right here. I'm going to place another one right here at the dot of my eye for holidays. And then I'm gonna pick this up. It's easier to pull these off if you pick up the plastic. And then we're gonna just place one of these onto the branch, the pine branch. And ta-da! This completes card number 1. All right, let's move on to card number 2. All right, let's begin card number 2. Now card number 2 is going to be built the same way, except this card is going to be in a different direction. So we have our card base, and we are going to start with those 2 pieces of designer series paper. Now for this one, remember in the last one when we glued this down, we left a little edge like that. For this one, we're not going to do that. We are going to cover the entire piece of brown and just make this look like the background is a solid piece of plaid cardstock. Okay, so we have one strip there, and our second strip is going to go here. And again, these are 1 by 5.5 inches of the green and gold specialty designer series paper. All right, then we have that 3 by 11 piece of old olive cardstock. And so I'm going to put adhesive on the back. And this time I'm going to glue it like this in the center so that the card will open like this. Okay, so just press it on. All right, then we have 2 layering pieces that go on the top of that. The early espresso is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then the specialty paper is 2.5 by 5 inches. So we're going to glue these together and then attach them onto the front. Okay, very good. All right, next we're going to move on and do some stamping. Okay, so we have 2 different pieces of cardstock that we need to stamp. First we have the little die cut tag here, and then we just have a scrap of white cardstock. So on the tag, I'm going to ink up the sentiment that says, "Let's decorate the season with happiness." I'm going to ink that up with early espresso ink. And when I stamp this, I want to stamp it kind of near the center, but a little bit more towards the bottom of the tag. Okay? And then on the white scrap here, we are going to do some 2-step stamping. And we are going to be using the golden greenery stamp set, and we'll be using these 2 images, and we're going to 2-step stamp. So we're going to stamp this one first and then this one over the top. So just for the video, I'm going to show you, I'm going to stamp this twice. So we're going to start with 1 generation of ink, and then I'm going to do a 2nd generation of ink. And then we're going to take the 2nd stamp, ink it up, and I'm going to line that up right over the top and stamp that and stamp it again. Okay, so I did it twice so that you could see with 2-step stamping you can get a variety of looks. So we're going to go with this darker look that has just a darker pine branch, but you can also have something that shows more contrast just by stamping off 1 generation of ink. Okay, so now that I have this done, I'm going to take and place the coordinating die over the top of it, and then I'm going to go run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, so now our stamping and die cutting is done, and we're ready to finalize this card by assembling these last pieces. So I'm going to bring the card back here into the center, and then I'm going to start with this sentiment. I'm going to place some dimensionals behind the tag here, and then I'm going to mount this in the bottom corner of the card. Okay, then with this, we're going to place this on the top. So the reason why I wanted to kind of stamp it a little bit more down to the bottom is so that we'd have room to attach our branch. So I'm going to add adhesive to the back have this white scrap, and we're going to line that on the card, just like so. Okay, so now that's on there, and the last thing that we need to do is embellish. So for the embellishments, I'm going to use a red embellishment here, a second red embellishment over here, and then I'm going to pick up this cluster of 3, and I'm going to cover up the hole like that, and then I'm going to put a single one, a white one, over here on this branch, and one more single white one down here, like so. And then, as an option for either of these cards that I showed you in this video, you can line them. So I did cut a liner piece, but just for this one. Because we're using old olive cardstock, you could easily write your message on here. But for this card, I'm gonna go ahead and add this vanilla liner to the inside. So we'll just add some glue, and we'll press this down, and it'll just also brighten up the inside of this card as well. So this is totally optional, but just shows you another layer, and I thought that looked really nice with the plaid. So this completes these first 2 cards in this series, and next, using these same supplies, I'm going to show you how to create this very sweet little gift card holder that I think you're going to love. So I'll see you real soon at my next video. Until then, aloha.